Hey guys, Road Warrior back here. I recently did another good, I've put him in this a couple times way back, and I never really put a clip together on it, but I know some people struggle with this. Nonetheless, I want to put it up on the channel to help you guys out. I did end up taking third, I left in second. A lot of key things on this one, I think. Number one, here's the marks. I do a 3-spot rotation. That's a park mark if you need it. Uh, Generally speaking, they're going to be in these little deep spots. Here's spot number 2, and the good thing is about all 3 of these spots that I've used for a long time, since I started playing in competitions, is these don't overlap, so you can get all 3 trophy gilded without any overlapping issues from any one of those marks. Pretty much that's a lure mark, but nonetheless, if you needed to. As well as if you wanted to fish off the dock, you could fish off the dock for all 3 of these spots, except for that one over there. You'd have to come and hit from this side. In other words, you could come over here, and it's kind of showing you here if you wanted to walk down at this spawn point, cast over that little dock, and it's right there. In the event that you do want to fish off the bank, as well as this spot over here, you can hit from this side if you wanted to. So kind of moving forward here, there's my power bait set up. I threw that in a feeder. This, I think, to me does help a little bit. Not foolproof, but you could pause on that. As well as this, the setup here, anywhere from I would say 4.0 to 7.0 hooks. Usually at 5.0, 6.0 is pretty solid. And again, you didn't want to use the bottom rod. There's float rods available. You could do a soggy bobber. That's usually pretty popular in this. And, you know, just set your depth whatever you want, because the bait itself is going to sink. I do think that it does help to run lighter rods in this. It could just be in my head, but for me in particular, the fight's not too awful bad, especially with the new fighting mechanics in the game. Again, I think I've talked about reel shredding before here on my channel and the effectiveness of it. You'll find in a situation where you need to get a fish in a hurry, it probably will be advantageous to you to use that. Again, to each their own. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I usually bring an extra reel with me in the event that I go on a rampage here and catch quite a few. But you'll see here, you want the heavy chaser. I'm one click down currently fighting this. It's not horrible. Again, it's kind of depending on if you're in a time crunch, that sort of thing. That is something good to know how to reel shred in the event that you're trying to get a last second fish, something like that. Or you're just sick of fighting a fish in general. That's definitely a different feature in the game, as you can see there. I'm damaging my reel, but you know, it's not breaking it completely. It's just saving myself time. It's not allowing the catfish or any fish to take out the any line. So there's spot number 1. I did cast back out there and didn't get nothing. Moving on to spot number 2 here, kind of doing the same thing. Sometimes, again, a good general rule of thumb in this one, hence trophy whiskers. Only the trophies count. And a good run, you can get normally 3 gilded in this. Depending on the sizes, is kind of going to dictate your score somewhat, so to speak, too. But I would recommend that you do try to target. In this situation, you'll see here, once I get this big fish in, I'm going to throw back out. Since you got a trophy flat whiskers available, a trophy ripsaw available, and a trophy sword beam available on top of your gilded. There's 4 different species, so keep that in mind. Even those smaller ones will add up. You know, those nickels and dimes eventually will add up in your point total as well. So I would recommend that you do throw back, at least for a little bit, a couple minutes afterwards. Just to kind of, and I do know the respawn time on those will be around 30 minutes or so, maybe even a little less on the smaller varieties. I was not able to figure out, or I have not yet, if anybody in the comment section could leave, if they do know. I was wanting to say it was around 45 minutes, but I ended up getting 3 trophy gilded in this. Went back to the first spot, and I was not able to get the respawn. It might be, you know, it might be 45 minutes, and maybe it just didn't drop. But don't hold me to it. I do not know the respawn timer on the trophy gilded here on this lake. So, you know, if somebody else knows that, maybe they'll leave it in the comment section. But I do not know that. So again, I just switched over here to chicken liver. As far as your baits, you know, chicken liver, huge cut bait, large cut bait, anything like that. Frog will even work. I've did well on this before with crayfish, dead lambari. Any of those baits should work for you. Usually my go-tos are, you know, chicken liver, frog, or huge cut bait. Just kind of depends on how things are going. Again, one thing I will mention in this competition itself, this competition, like many on Fishing Planet, you might end up in a situation where you're dead laked. where you're just not getting a bite. In my mind, I think that's something, whether either the game's glitched out or maybe we could talk about this subject for hours. Anybody that's followed along my channel, I don't know if the computer's just dealt you out really bad luck or your game's, messed up or what's going on, but you might find that even on this run. I actually mentioned to my buddy Grizzly a few weeks ago when we were playing this. He didn't really know how to play it, and we got in a party together. He went in there the first time, I think took 4th or 5th. The next time he played in it, did the same kind of a routine, going off of this rotation. Didn't hardly get a bite, I think, for 30 minutes. But I was just letting you guys know that disclaimer, and it's happened to me before, anybody that's watching me play this live stream. Very frustrating when you know what you're doing and that sort of thing, and you've played in something several times, and for whatever reason, you just won't get a bite. So I just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know. I hope that you have good luck like I did in this one, and hopefully you guys can get up there and at least get you a top 10 and maybe, go up and hopefully eventually get a podium in this. Again, you can add some marks to it as well, whatever marks that you might have, but these marks are all solid, as you can see. Now, here on the spot 3, I got a couple of the trophies out, so I spawned away. Another thing I might mention in this, if for whatever reason you can't get a bite, my buddy Jur swears up and down he has better luck off the bank, but you did see that I caught 2 in the boat. I've caught all 3 before in the boat, but nonetheless, if you like fishing off the bank, there's nothing wrong with it. I think my friend Jur loves fishing off the bank in this thing. So, but just another factor I was going to say is sometimes I've noticed in these competitions and fishing in general, it might not hurt to change your spawn point. I don't know if it refreshes things on your lake, so to speak. So if you get a slow bite, maybe even try to, hop around different spawn locations, kind of like a quick reset, or maybe something's glitched out in the game. There is some bugs in the game, not to sit and, pick on Fishing Planet. We all know it's a great game, but sometimes the bite rates themselves can be suspect, whether the game's messed up or it's just your bad luck being dealt to you. But nonetheless, I did come over here, and you noticed that I'd gotten pretty slow there after having one heck of a start. It got really slow on me, and just kind of food for thought. If maybe that'll work for you if you find yourself playing in this. But nonetheless, I really hope that you guys can get at least a top 10 in this eventually, but this should really help you, anybody that's looking forward to playing in the Trophy Whiskers. This is a really fun competition. Also, again, a special thanks to Fishing Planet. I know back in the day when I first started playing in competitions and I put this rotation together, there was a lot of people exploiting the Troy or the telescopic rod in this. Made it no fun for any of the average people that were trying to play in this. They would basically just use the Troy in this, and there was a couple guys, or I don't want to say a whole team, that would basically take 1st, 2nd, and 3rd over and over. So I do thank Fishing Planet for working on that exploit, and they've got that out of the game for the most part. So now average people that are looking to come in and have fun in this can do so. With that being said, I did make a few mistakes on this run. I probably could have rotated around after that 3rd gilded at a couple different spots, maybe down my hook size a little quicker, but I was trying to find out the respawn in the one spot that I caught the first one. So, but anyways, sorry for the long ramble here, but I wanted to explain this to you in details. But this is how I did Trophy Whiskers, and I hope this helps out somebody someday. And take care, and we'll see you in the next one.